The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad, and today I don't know how I drew the lucky card, but I get to speak to two wonderful women, of course, one of which is my beautiful Aunt Amy, and the other, Pilar Brumbaugh, and both of you lovely ladies are with the Quincy Humane Society, and today we're talking about picking a lucky card, right?
Yes.
You guys have a really awesome fundraiser, and I know a lot of people have already heard of it, but Queen of Hearts.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you've been talking about this for a really long time, wanting to do the Queen of Hearts because it is an awesome fundraiser, and you have a really lucky winner at the end of it, right?
Absolutely. You know, when there's so many different things going on here in our community, and when we had the idea initially of Queen of Hearts, you know, when are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? And we had the opportunity. Actually brought with us with the United Way. And Jenna over at the United Way and her team, we sat down, we talked, and let's partner together because they're a fantastic organization. We're a great organization. What could we do? You know, we're not a partner agency with the United Way. And so this was a really unique opportunity to bring both teams together to make this possible.
Okay.
On the volunteer side of things. And so it really made the idea that we had happen. And so we're really excited to team up and get it going.
That's awesome. Okay, so I didn't know the United Way was partnering with you guys. That is makes it even better.
Yes.
They achieve great things all the time, as do you, of course, the Quincy Humane Society. You know, if anyone doesn't know, they serve the Quincy community and surrounding communities for, you know, sheltering animals who need resources, right? Yeah. And of course, you know, Aunt Amy has, how many extra dogs right now?
I have a total of seven.
Seven dogs,
I promised my neighbors I wouldn't get any.
You're right,
so.
right.
I think we're talking about maybe having like a satellite location.
Yeah.
Animal shelters at Amy's house.
Right.
We'll call it Aunt Amy's Animals.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. There you go. So, of course, not only is it the facility, but you have so many great people there who pour their hearts and souls into these animals. So, great cause. And the Queen of Hearts had, you know, a lot of, I don't want to say a lot because I think a lot of people have heard of the KFC barbecue doing it because it got so big, which is one of the great things about the Queen of Hearts. Also, it's very random, luck of the draw. There is no possibility to rig this thing. Right? So give me just a little, if you can, because I've only been to a few of them, kind of how the Queen of Hearts works.
Yeah. So we'll tag team this. How about that, Amy?
That's fine.
You stop me when I'm going off track here. So you'll come into the dock. We are selling tickets from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. So you can come right at the beginning. You can come right at 6:30, grab a drink. We will draw at 7. How it works is when you come in, we will ask all your information. So we would say, Amy Kinsel, we'll collect your driver's license, and we'll pull the information from there. We'll put it on our spreadsheet, and then you will receive a PIN number. That PIN number is yours. Okay, so you then go and you purchase tickets. So we have tickets starting at $1 a ticket. We've got 25 for 20, 55 for 50, and 110 for 100. So with that increases your chances, and it also helps us to grow that pot. How am I doing?
You're doing great.
Okay, I got my cheat sheet here too.
You keep going, sis.
Doing great, yeah.
So once you put that PIN number that's specifically yours on the back of that ticket, you won't fold it, you won't crumple it up, you'll do nothing other than put it in the ticket tumbler.
Okay.
After that, we wait till 7, we draw one ticket. Whatever PIN number is on the back of that ticket gets to select one of these
from
cards.
the board.
Now, I have no idea which card is the Queen of Hearts.
Because it came pre-made, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there is the perforated, little cut lines there. Amy does not know what the Queen of Hearts is.
Yeah.
And this board, at the end of every night, we will,
Making sure
Vanna.
we will take a picture and video of all sides. So it has the time and location, obviously. And then we will take it back to a safe place for safekeeping.
Heck yeah.
And be ready for the next week.
So Queen of Hearts happens weekly.
Yes.
And you mentioned this fantastic one is going to take place on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
At the dock.
Yep.
Which, hello, Okay. Like the Queen of Hearts isn't fun enough already, but then you're gonna go to the place that rocks, right? Which
Absolutely.
is the dock. So every Wednesday night, you show up sometime before 7 or 6:30.
Sometime before 6:30.
Sometime before 6:30. Okay. So you're going to show up at the dock every Wednesday night before 6:30. You are going to get a PIN number that is going to be your PIN number every week. It doesn't change.
It will be your
Yes.
PIN number for the entirety of any Queen of Hearts we run.
Gotcha.
And that PIN number costs $5, and that PIN number again that solidifies that is your number.
Gotcha.
And you'll have a card in case you're like me and
Forget.
maybe Amy.
Yes.
Yes.
Forget.
Yes.
So.
And I recommend taking a picture of that card too.
Yes.
So then you get your PIN number and you purchase tickets every week to be entered in that drawing. Now, are the tickets replaced every week?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, every week we will then discard them off site, and they will be gone. And the next week is a new week and new
Start
cards.
fresh. Yeah.
And
So-
that pot keeps growing.
Yeah, so I was going to say,
Growing and growing.
really, you don't want someone to win quickly. You want to let that pot grow and get more and more people involved, and you
Yes.
get more and more money in the pot because that benefits you and the individual who wins.
Yes.
Right.
So we've got a breakdown. 50% will go to the winner. No money will be given out. Obviously, at the dock, there will be all the fun tax paperwork.
Yeah.
And then after that, then a check will be cut to that winner. After that, we have a breakdown. 20% will go to Quincy Humane Society's operational expense. So that's 20. 10% will go to the United Way.
Okay.
And then the remaining 20% will then go to the starting pot for 2025.
Perfect. I love it. And I asked a little bit earlier before we kicked the cameras on about the dock and if how much money goes back to the dock. And Dave and Denise Taylor have graciously donated their facility. Right. We just asked that people buy some booze, buy a
We're
soda.
so grateful.
Right?
We're so
Yes.
grateful. The Quincy community always shows up in so many different ways. And when we met with Denise, she was all about it, helping us, extend this time a little bit more, give people a chance to get out here. And for 30 minutes, come have a drink,
Right.
grab an app, just
I mean,
enjoy the
it's-
company.
And the weather is getting beautiful.
I was going to say, it's going to start getting
Beautiful.
nicer. I mean, what else do you have to do on a hump day? You run down to the dock. You support your Quincy Humane Society and the dock in the process, and United Way, and all of these awesome animals. I think this is awesome. I cannot wait to be a part of it. And, fingers crossed that I win, but even if I don't... It's awesome. It's an awesome cause.
We're excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, you two amazing ladies are running it. So
Well, you still have another chance of winning as well.
We do. We've
Yeah.
got a couple other things. If we have a second, I'd love to
Yes,
touch base
yes,
on.
yes, yes, of
So,
course.
obviously, we have 54 cards here that can be selected. If you select a queen or a joker, yes, that is not the Queen of Hearts. Naturally, you will receive $100.
okay.
Okay. Any other card?
Come back
Trade
next
in.
week.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. Yeah.
Yes. So there's that. We will also, starting week 2, so not today, but next Wednesday, we will also have a 50-50. The twist with the 50-50, and this was actually something that the United Way, and as they initially were starting to plan, had come up with, that 50-50, if Ashley Conrad wins, you cannot donate it back. You
Oh,
can
really?
donate it back at another time if you wish.
Okay.
It's your money.
Sure.
But you cannot just say, oh, just keep that night.
I love that.
You take that and
Well, some nights you get to, you might be there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you feel a little guilty because
Yes.
it's a charity.
I always feel guilty. I mean, of course,
No
you
need
want.
to.
I know. So I love that. That's really cool.
I thought that was a really unique spin on it. So there are several opportunities on the board and off the board.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. And it is sure to be an amazing time. Grab all of your friends, grab your family, grab anybody who loves family or who loves animals or fun or,
Community,
Right?
Really, if
Yeah.
anybody that loves community, because this money is going
It's
right
going
back
right
into
back
it.
into it.
So it doesn't
I
get
love
much
it.
better than that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Amy Kinsel will be there.
Right? There you go.
Hey, you just can't get much better
I was
going
going
to
to say, what more can you ask for? What more can you ask for? So there you have it. Every Wednesday night, hit the dock, go support the Quincy Humane Society and United Way, have some fun, and maybe win some money. You can't beat it, right?
know.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to
Absolutely.
seeing you on Wednesday nights.
Awesome.
All right.
you.
Coming up next, I sit down with Meg Duncan for Twain Talk. Stay tuned. Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy. Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
What kind of shows will you see on Muddy River Gems each month? The same award-winning storytelling from Mark McDonald and crew that you enjoyed for nearly 20 years on PBS. Muddy River Gems with host Mark McDonald. A new episode every month online from Muddy River News.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
And we're back. And now joining me, Meg Duncan with Twain Talk. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, Twain Talk, I think Brittany created that.
She did.
I love it.
I know, it really stuck. I just love it.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
of course, Twain, we're talking Mark Twain and Hannibal and all the goings on in Hannibal, right?
All the goings on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's always something fun and exciting. There's always seems to be, it kind of like wavers back and forth from like drama to fun and lighthearted, drama to fun and lighthearted.
Yeah.
Today, we get to
It
talk
is true.
lighthearted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I always enjoy that
Yeah.
too. So, yeah. So, just the fact that you were just talking to the Quincy Humane Shelter, it made me think of my funny story. So, I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, do it, please.
Okay. So, I got a message yesterday that the Hannibal Public School District, which I love, the Hannibal School District, and I got a message that they were getting an ATV from the Booster Club, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
That's not really funny. That's nice that they're doing that.
Sure.
And so my schedule was so busy, it was short notice, so I wasn't going to be able to make it. But she put that it was a mule. So I legit, like, for this wonderful amount of time, I thought, and then she put in parentheses ATV.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a mule at the Hannibal School District on the campus being an ATV. Like, I'm picturing these, like, saddlebags on this mule going from school
Meg.
to school to school.
This is why I love you.
And I was like, I know I'm busy, but I am going. I have to go.
You have to see this mule.
Because there's a mule.
Yeah.
And I need to see this. Like,
And of course
I
you love
have to
animals,
go.
so
I
you're
love
like,
animals
yeah.
so much. So I'm like, I am going.
Yeah.
And so then I was like trying to get some stuff done. And then all of a sudden, like, I still can't even describe my frame of mind because this is stupid. Like,
Well,
who thinks there's going to be a mule?
Okay, in your defense, when you hear mule, because such is your life, animals, right?
I guess so. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
so I think if
That's
you
a very
frame
good
it
point.
that way,
Yes.
you know, if you live something and you're used to it the first time you see the word, of course, what pops in your head, but whatever you're used to. So I give you you have total leniency here. I get it, and I just love you for thinking that it was an actual
I did.
mule.
I had all these pictures of like Susan Johnson riding side saddle going from school to school. Like I don't know that I really, but
You were picturing it.
it
let's
just
be
got
honest.
more
That's
funny as
hilarious.
it went. And then when it struck me that it was an actual ATV, I was so disappointed.
So, I mean, the actual mule would have been a lot cooler, but
it is really cool
so
that
an
the Booster Club did that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but the purpose is to move people and things from school to school within Hannibal. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I think
Okay,
so.
cool.
Yes. And unfortunately, I really didn't get to go because I really couldn't go.
Yeah.
But I did write back the Hannibal Booster Club president, which is Starla Dunn, and she's a fantastic person.
Yeah.
So I wrote her back and let her know that, to send me pictures if she had any. So I may have pictures at some point. But she, I did tell her, I was like, for this fantastic moment, I thought there was an actual mule. And she's like, I know, I knew
God
you
love
would.
ya.
I knew you would. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
see? Yeah, give yourself a break. Yeah, it's totally understandable and natural and hilarious, and we love you for that even more. I do,
Well,
yeah.
I love you too.
Well, so congratulations to the Hannibal Public School System for getting a mule, regardless of if it's
Yeah.
a four-legged or a
Yes,
four-wheeled,
that's
right?
always, yes, and that's awesome that they have, the Booster Club that raises money for that. There's so much of that, the band boosters, the fundraising that's involved with the musicals. There's so many people that jump in to just become support for the schools and Hannibal in general, which leads to our next discussion.
Yes.
Like we said, this is lighthearted. It is lighthearted. There's a lot of depth to it, too, of course. It's the Riedel Foundation. And last night, Bob and I were able to attend the Riedel reception, which is just a yearly report of the Riedel Foundation and all that they do, which I think most people have heard of. The Riedel Foundation, but I don't know if people really understand. I think it's a really neat foundation.
I was blown away when I first heard about it because I didn't understand, the depth of it. I didn't understand the breadth of how much they accomplish in and around Hannibal, or how it was even possible. So you want to give us a quick rundown of what you know about the history of it?
Yeah. So George H. Riedel, Hannibal resident, who has passed away years ago. And there's, as was said last night at the Riedel reception, it's hard to find a whole lot of information on George Riedel as far as his personal life goes. But what I do know is that he donated, basically when he died, left a large sum of money, specifically for the purpose of helping others.
Right.
And so the Riedel Foundation itself, they're sort of like, that's their job. They, like Sarah Diane and then their trustees, they're like the guardians of those funds. They make sure that those funds go into places that will protect his legacy and truly help out Hannibal. Also, what I didn't know, which I found really interesting as well, was that George Riedel was a big fan of the YMCA, and that's also why you always have to do that when you're talking about the why. Why? That's also why they do a lot for the why. So which is interesting because she did mention that she's had questions in the past as to the YMCA and how that connection exists. But it wasn't just meant for the YMCA. It was meant to really help out everyone in Hannibal, and they do. And that's what I really enjoy listening to things, because it's almost like, people go to them and they say, so here's what I want to do. How can you help me? And then they investigate and make sure that it's a responsible way to spend that money. And I have our thing from last night, so I'm going to have to go off of that. But last year, for 2023, they reported funding $337,381, and that's all in grants to help people with startup, to help people just so many different things. And one of those was that spoke last night was the CEO program for the Hannibal High School students, which it's not just Hannibal High School. I know the Hannibal High School does provide some funding as far as salaries go for those who participate, but the Riedel Foundation, that was announced last year that it was going to start. And I thought it was really cool this year how a student who has gotten already so much out of it came and spoke last night.
Oh, very cool.
At the Riedel Foundation. Addie Ball, she's a senior, and she talked about just her experience overall with that. And I thought, well, that's really cool to go last year and hear about that, because I always get really excited when I hear young people getting to do things like for their future.
Absolutely.
I get so excited about that. So when she came back last night and talked about it, I was like, oh, how cool. That's like coming to fruition.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of different places that they support. Foster Care United Way, they helped out with the Day of Giving. There are so many matching grants. They do so many matching grants. And so it's all online, but I think their history is cool. And I kind of love how they're just doing the legacy of someone.
Yeah, carrying it out. I know.
Yeah.
That's what
Isn't
I
that
thought.
cool?
I thought it was really cool. This guy, and when we say a chunk of money, we mean a chunk of
Yeah.
money, right?
Yes.
So,
I
of
can't
course,
remember exactly how much.
You
It
have
was a
to
lot.
you have to have someone, like you called it, guarding, guarding some of that as guardianship, right?
Yeah.
And they're in charge of making decisions based on how well each group or person asking for funding, how well they're going to carry out his vision.
Yes.
And I think a lot of it is, it's foundational for Hannibal,
Yeah,
creating
it is.
some of these great causes and helping people carry these things out.
Yeah. And I don't really know, and I might be wrong, truly I might be wrong, but I don't really know that there's a lot of places that you can go and be like, so here's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, let's hear you out. You
Right.
know? I mean, it's almost like that, I don't know, an inventor that just has his big chance, you know, here's my idea. But of course, this is different because it's actually there to help out people in Hannibal. Like I said, there's foster care, Embrace, the St. John's School, the Juneteenth Coalition was a recipient last year, Humane Society. There's a lot of different Harvest Outreach Ministries, which is also Loaves and Fishes, through that. So it's really kind of multifaceted. So I don't know. I think it's a cool foundation.
It's good stuff.
And their food was really good, and I love to go anywhere where I get free food.
Amen. Amen to that. Hey, I was going to say, look, last time you were here, you were talking, not last time, but you were talking about the free pie at Village Inn, which I knew nothing about. And I passed that on to my husband. He was like, duh, you didn't know that? I was like, no. We haven't gone.
No.
So, free food is always good.
Free food is always good.
Celebrating, a coalition, I guess, a group that is just there simply to help other people in the community is just, it's awesome.
I know. I get so excited about that kind of stuff.
It's very
cool.
cool.
Yes, there's a story as well. So on there that I did last night.
Cool.
So you can search for the story on Muddy River News and you can get a little bit more information, things like that. But so that's just kind of what I got today.
That's excellent. So between the reception and the mule,
yeah,
all good stuff.
All good stuff.
Love it. I love it.
Yes. And at some point, we will have to talk about the fact that I am going to take my goat dressed as a superhero to the Big River Comic Con.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I'm
we'll
not
have
going to be
talk
able to
about
miss that. Yeah, that'll have to be a story for another day. But
It
that
will.
sounds like another good
But that's
story.
coming. That's
Love
something
it.
for you to get
Love
excited
it.
about.
All right. Well, I think that does it for Twain Talk with Meg Duncan. Thank you so much again for coming in. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Talk to you
All
too.
right. I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for Club Muddy.